Impartiality, the 26th of September, 2024. It would be very difficult for the dying person to see when their soul leaves their body. It would be difficult to some people who would keep worrying and whining and crying about their hereafter. When you have a secret that you are keeping from your parents, whether they were young parents with a young child or elderly parents with an adult or even a teenage child. If you keep secrets from your parents, you are more inclined to show anger or demonstrate anger issues. Your voice gets louder. You tense your muscles and you demonstrate what a bad child would look for your parents. They had already mentioned to you the behaviors that they do not like. And when you get angry, you demonstrate that to them. Therefore, when you get angry, instead of talking to your parents, the source of your anger, you would be better off lying down or sitting down. If you speak out of impulse, then your rashness shows your bad side. Based on what factors does the bridge between being obedient to God and having preferred to do some other task that might not be as important? What makes something important to somebody? It is not only the sentimental value, but a feeling of attachment or love to the thing that is important to somebody. Obedience to God is different. It is believing in God enough to obey Him and not do what He hates. But there is a gap between it and the decision not to obey Him, or rather have something so ridiculous become something of importance rather than Him. It is a problem that I'm sure many people would be struggling with trying to understand. If you love someone so much that you would obey everything that he says willingly, then what changes these feelings? Allah could essentially change the hearts of anyone He chooses, accept anyone He wants into His mercy. It is no wonder I would be shaky thinking about that. What changes a person's decision to follow or vow to follow God's orders and commands is essentially human free will. Obedience to God is a form of worship, and therefore it is not compelled upon anyone. La ikraha fi din. Why impartiality? If something is expensive, it is better to keep to the function rather than the brand. When people started branding, it is when our food products lost their blessing of plenty. We became a society which consumes more than it produces, not for the scarcity of food, but rather for its losing its blessing. Why is crystal valuable? Why didn't they say diamonds instead of crystal? Premonition. The 27th of September 2024. Intrigued. You always feel intrigued. No, I felt challenged. Sometimes no means a lot of things. 7:46 p.m. Why not explain it from a different perspective? People have a tendency to oppose certain ideas. This tendency is a threshold that increases based on people's social awareness. The reason why a group opposes another group is not only because of what the media states about them, but rather based on initial opposition to the idea. Whispers like those trying to call towards a certain feeling of low self-esteem. It is easily identifiable.